whole body go crack. Let the baseline move, take it off of the mat. We rock crowds every time we see that. Boom, boom, bap, yeah, we got it like that. Kick drum, make your whole body go crack. Let the baseline move, take it off of the mat.
Yes, hello and welcome to the new NBA show here on Sky Sports, The Heatcheck. I'm your host, Jaydee, Dyer, and this is the show that unpacks everything that's happening around the league, both on and off the court. And look, on the first ever edition, look at this esteemed basketball company that I'm accompanied by. To my left, I've got Mo Moonsa here, my guy, the hoop genius and the blogger that says that he can beat anybody one-on-one. And to my right, I've got the nation's heartthrob, GB athlete as well, and basketball connoisseur, Ovie Soko. My guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining me. Incredible, incredible moments here we're having. But I just want to ask you both, before we get into our favourite segments, what have you made of the season so far?
I personally think that this season, from what we've seen so far, it had a big thing to live up to, you know. Everyone was expecting big things and it hasn't disappointed. There's been drama on and off the court, and the basketball that we've seen has been fantastic. So I'm really hyped to see the rest of the season unfold.
And Ove?
I think this is the most exciting year for basketball there's been in a while. I think there's been a bunch of sort of blockbuster moves around the NBA. A lot of big names have moved around. We've seen, or we can see, a revamped league. I think it's the end of the Golden State sort of era. And you know, different new times are coming now.
We ready?
Be ready, be ready, be ready.
Well, guys, just like the NBA fashion, look, I want to get into it because it's fast, it's action-packed, and you know what? It's going to be fun. So can we jump into the first segment?
Of course.
You ready?
Let's get it.
Let's get hot or not. All right, guys, it's very simple, yeah? I'm going to bring out a topic of debate, and in true hip-hop or basketball fashion, you turn around and tell me whether or not you think I'm talking hot, like this topic has legs, or you think I'm talking cold and I'm talking too much cap,
Yes.
yeah? There is no better place to start in the league than Miami Heat. Let's go down to South Beach. Let's dive in with Pat Riley and all of them. And all the eyes of the NBA was on when Jimmy Butler decided he wanted to move to Miami and make that decision. But this year, not only have they surprised the whole league, I think they probably surprised themselves. Do you think the Miami Heat are legit powerhouses in the East and could potentially come out of the East? I'm going to go to you first, man.
I was with you until you said come out of the East. I think that they are going to be strong contenders compared to what we thought they would be.
Okay.
You know, I think they'll do really well in the Eastern Conference, but I don't see them getting to that final echelon of, you know, the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. Maybe in a few years when some of their young guys have developed a bit, but they're not there yet, but they are very good.
Oh, we spoke off camera. We were bragging about those rookies and how good they've been. Is there any heat in it? Is there any legs in Miami coming out of the East?
Mo. Chill, Mo.
Yo!
Hot. This is energy.
I like that.
Miami, they've come in and they've made us respect what they're capable of. You know, they've beaten a really good Bucks team that's going to be in the playoffs. They're the contenders to come out of the East.
Of course.
They beat an Atlanta team that started off really well. And they've beaten a Rockets team that, you know, obviously has the likes of Harden and Westbrook.
And look, it's not just going to be me making the decision. The people at home get to make a decision as well. But, I think I've got to go with you. I know it hurts me as a Magic fan, but I see some real potential in this Miami team. You think about Tyler Hero, who's balling out, taking the off-season into the new season as well. And, look, we were speaking about Kendrick Nunn as well, my guy.
Yeah.
How big has he been, his impact?
I think he's been huge, especially with Jimmy missing the first few games. And the way that what I've enjoyed about watching the Miami Heat is they've moved the ball a lot. They're playing a great style of basketball that gets the whole team involved. But like I said, I think they'll do well. But, you know, they can't compete. When it gets to the postseason, they lack the experience. So during the regular season, I'm with them. But when it comes to playoff times,
Look
you know...
Look at these stats. You tell me,
crazy
that's
numbers.
that's 8 players in double figures. Everyone's putting numbers on the board. Ove, I know you're going to love these stats right here. That's sharing the basketball at its finest.
Yeah, no, it like Mo was saying, they're playing the right way. Do you know what I mean? They've got 8 guys scoring, but it's not 8 guys in double digits where you've got one guy averaging 30 and then one guy averaging 11. You know, they're all in the teens. I feel like these guys really do enjoy playing together. You know, I feel like Butler's come in to a situation where the organisation and himself, it's the perfect marriage, it's the perfect situation for him. And I feel like him being a leader on a young team will be something that'll go a long way. Half of the games they've played, 3 out of 6 games, they've been led by either hero or none.
Cool.
So in scoring, that is. So I feel like they've shown the ability to do both. They've shown the ability to beat good teams. And they're a wild card. We can't count them out.
Ove, just because you're on the show today, and for those that don't know, obviously you're a massive Phoenix Suns fan, the next segment didn't feel right to not bring them involved. So you tell me, after that impressive start you've seen from the Phoenix Suns...
Fire!
You didn't even let me get it out.
Fire for them.
So they're serious.
Fire.
My question to you is, are they going to make it out of the West?
Fire.
Yeah, are they going to make it into the playoffs?
They're an ambitious team, and I can only say when Ayton gets back, they get better. I can't see him coming back and not sort of bringing just more to what they've already sort of built. They're defending well. They're defending well, and obviously on offense, they have tools. They've got Booker, they've got Oubre, who's doing a great job, and a solid supporting cast. So I feel like, again, like the Heat, these are two teams, one in the East, one in the West, that we have to respect. We have to at least respect them. It is early, but I feel like they've earned a wild card.
Mo, talk to me, man. You've seen the
I'm
Phoenix.
sorry, Ovie.
I know you stay up and watch these games in the West.
No, I watch all these games. And don't get me wrong, the Phoenix Suns have been red hot. They've been playing excellent basketball. Okay?
What's this? Not this means. Everyone knows what this means.
There's no salt because my team's flying too, right? But I'm going to tell you this. Yeah. Jaydee, you're a Magic fan, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the 17-18 season?
Yeah,
Okay, the Phoenix Suns are 5-2. 17-18, the Orlando Magic started 6-2.
Yeah, we were
They
good.
then progressed to 8-4. But they finished the season only winning 25 games.
There was no need to bring that last bit up.
For me, I would love if Phoenix could carry this on, but I need to see at least a month of them playing. I can't jump to conclusions because you mentioned with Ayton coming back. What springs to mind when I see this Phoenix team playing, they're playing together, they're playing really well. But something that they used to call the Ewing Effect.
But look at D-Book stats.
When one of the best players on the team goes down, the rest of the team collectively steps it up and has to step up their game to make the difference. I don't know if that's something they can sustain for the duration of his time off the court. And then when he comes back, I don't know if they'll keep it flying. I hope they do. Aaron Baines has been a big pickup for them. He's been really solid. He's one of my favourite players as well. And he's obviously played under great coaches like Popovich.
I'm a massive Booker fan. I love him. He's an elite scorer in this league. But, don't kill me, bro. But the West is stacked. The West is stacked. There's so many locks
all I
in
gotta
there.
say to
There's
the
so many
pyramid.
people that are going to try and make a name in the West this year. And unfortunately, I just don't see it happening for Phoenix.
I don't know. Let's agree to disagree, man. We've got Mr. 70 points over there. We've got Oubre, the young energy. Hey, come on, man. We
In the off-season, the eyes were across the whole of the Western Conference. In fact, the eyes were across the whole of the Eastern Conference as well, because there were so many off-season trades. So many big names made their name in other teams. Kevin Durant moved obviously to New York. But I'm going to throw a surprise your way. Would you turn around and say that Malcolm Brogdon moving away from Milwaukee was potentially one of the best surprises in this off-season? I'm going to go to you first because you're sleeping on me. Come on. Is it deal of the summer, man?
I always fall asleep, though.
if that is the best...
He's gone to a good Pacers organisation. You saw what Nate McMillan did last year. Talk to me. Why would you turn around and say that Malcolm Brogdon, Mr. 40, 50, 90, was not a good addition?
Well, we've got a guy, without naming names, we've got a guy who's taken the NBA championship outside of the United States for the first time in the history of the game.
I was there.
First off. Was a finals MVP. The city almost tried to move heaven and high waters to bring him back. A lot was on the line. I'm pretty sure every single basketball fan wanted to know whether this guy would stay, and he moves to the Clippers to team up with another
superstar.
Yeah.
And Paul George.
All-star in Paul George. You've got one of the best players of all time in LeBron James that teams up with a monster in Anthony Davis. We've got Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers of all time, moving from, the previous
San Francisco
title.
to New York. He's shell-shocked.
you know, and then I don't know, Brogdon gets dragged into the conversation. Like, what are we really talking about here?
Because
Let me break this down.
Go on, break
All
it down, man.
I know all these big superstars and
First off, before you break it down, that's cold.
Making it clear.
That's ice cold.
and I accept every point that you've made. They're all completely correct? But the way I look at this is the move of Brogdon isn't something we'll see the impact of this season. It's something that necessarily, I'm not talking about the impact it will have for the Pacers. My reasoning behind this is the Milwaukee Bucks have got Giannis Antetokounmpo, arguably the best player in the world right now, the reigning MVP, and they want to keep him there. They want to build a championship contender with Giannis on the roster. He's a free agent in a few seasons. And the fact that they allowed Malcolm Brogdon, Mr. 50-40-90, to walk this summer,
stats.
They didn't want to pay, they wanted to keep him, but when the Pacers came with that bag, he went with the Pacers. And really, I think they should have done more of an effort to keep him because, you've seen the production that he's been putting out for this Indiana squad. And I think if you're a superstar like Giannis, you're looking at the team around you, and the fact that he's gone over to Indiana and he's flourishing now, he's scoring over 20 points a game, almost 10 assists a game, he's playing really well, and you're looking at him like, man, I miss playing with that guy. I wish he was still here. Does this team really have my best interest at heart to build that contender? So when he is a free agent,
you link into
in a few years' time, he might just be like, you know what, they let Brogdon walk, they missed out on a few other guys, maybe I'll take my talents elsewhere.
You link into my last topic fantastically, because talking about the reigning MVP, obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo, we've spoken already about how special he is. But this year's reigning MVP, or this year's MVP race, has kind of taken a different direction. And people are turning around and saying maybe Luka Doncic could be the MVP this year. Is that got a hot take? Or am I talking cap? Tell me. Luka Doncic from Rookie of the Year.
That's all fire. That's
He's in with the shout.
I like that.
I'll have to give the flame emoji for this.
We know there's been a lot of
flames. Lukey, baby. Lukey.
Talk to me. What have you seen that's so special about Luka this year?
I've seen him up close and personal, first off. I played against the guy. The guy he's the real deal. He's been doing special things since he was playing in Europe. Was the MVP of the EuroLeague, which is obviously the biggest basketball body outside of the NBA. I think what we're seeing now is someone who just isn't another Rookie of the Year.
100%.
The guy, he leads his team in points, rebounds, assists. He's averaging, just under a triple-double and almost 2 steals a game as a second-year guy. A young guy. So I just feel like what we're seeing is something special, and to go as far as to say he'll be the MVP, that's a bit much, and I don't think he needs to be worried about those sort of.
The people have spoken. Like, they have turned around and said...
LeBron fans are out here.
The LeBron fans are out there.
Man, LeBron's LeBron, but, we've all seen what Luka did against LeBron and the Lakers just this past week. So, I feel like he's earning his stripes. He's earning his respect around the league, but he's separating himself. He's putting himself in a different sort of class of player, I think.
Mo, I mean, he's in some elite classes there, even to be considered.
Yeah,
I think, that sort of awards.
Like the youngest MVP we've seen, Derrick Rose at 22. Luka Doncic is only 20. And if you're looking at it statistically, Luka's stats are already better than the numbers D Rose put up in his MVP season. The youngest player to record back-to-back triple-doubles. He's putting up like 25-point triple-doubles. It's an insane performance from him every time he steps on the court, and he does it with a little bit of style or a little bit of flair. It's fun to watch, the flashy no-look assist. It's not like it's a boring style of play. It really gets the fans excited, the fans involved. In terms of if he can keep this up throughout the whole season, I'm a big Luka fan. I hope he can. I think he can as well, with Porzingis coming back as well. That gives opponents something else to worry about. Last season, they could kind of focus more on Luka, whereas now they've got to worry about Kristaps and Luka as well. So I think that he could be an outside shout, but, I'd love to see it.
Well, if you follow the NBA, you know that on the court, the action is fast, action-packed, and we absolutely love it. But there's something a little bit special about the NBA, and that's the off the court as well. And with Halloween just passing, there were some incredible outfits to choose from. Now, gentlemen, look, Halloween is always special. People always put good efforts in, but I want to run a little game with both of you. Because it's a Halloween special, do you reckon you could guess what these people were wearing and who the athlete actually was? Yeah?
Go for
We're
it.
good to go?
I've seen a few, but we'll go for it.
Yeah,
I hear you. No
try.
spoilers. No spoilers. Round the first one. Let's do
get into
this. Oh, well, okay. That's a bit of an obvious one. Just to get you guys warmed up. But as you can clearly see, that's LeBron James. But can you tell me, do you reckon you know who that is that he's just trying to be?
Oh, I just scissor hands, man.
For real? Straight from the gap? You just know.
Look at the hands.
You know what? You know what I love about LeBron? He actually puts effort in every year.
Yeah.
Every year he's consistent with his outfits, with his drip. It's just sick.
Yeah,
when it comes out
the
of it.
NBA is all about competing, isn't it? At the end of the day, yeah. Or they compete, whether it's cars, whether it's fashion, whether it's outfits, as you can see.
Will you tell me who that is then, since everyone was so confident on LeBron James?
This is, I know who's under this costume, so I'm going to leave it for Ovie to guess.
Oh, no pressure.
Well, I did kind of see this one. I
You
caught
see
this
this
one. I caught this one on the gram. Pat Patterson.
I'm telling you now, that is a good guess, because if you had given me 100 players in the league, Pat Patterson would not have been top of my list.
That's very well done.
That is very well done. Now, this is harder. Now, I'm
This
a
one,
guess.
I seen Clint Capella. I feel like this is Clint
I
Capella.
saw Dame Lillard. This is what's so weird. So you tell me.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is Paul George.
Oh, I see PG-13 now. I
But
see it.
it's interesting-
It's the nose. You see the nose? I see
I
it.
still don't see it.
It's interesting you said
I still
Dame,
don't see it.
because I think Dame should have just gone as Arya Stark. Waved him away like he did in the playoffs.
And the last one, guys. Now, this is a lot harder. Surely.
Well, we had a lot of jokers. I mean, John Wall was a joker, Spencer Dinwiddie was a joker. I think 90%
still
of
dug
people
in.
this. Yeah, John Wall was dug in as the joker.
Who is this?
I'm lost as well. Mo, help us
I
out.
think that's Bradley Beal.
BB?
Aye, Mo, you need to get off Instagram. That's real.
Bradley Beal, okay.
You need to get off Instagram.
Someone was locked into the drip. The
And we
Halloween
asked the
drip.
guys at home, and this is exactly who they voted for their favourite costumes as well. Now, you looking at that, would you turn around and agree that PG won that?
Definitely. Because I still, after I saw the name, I still couldn't see his face.
It was a complete costume, it was a complete disguise.
It was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
100%. Well, look, the competition's going to be on again next year, and I can't wait for Christmas as well, because you know they show up. But, Mo, you went and did a special segment for us of the very first edition of Who's Got Game, and you caught up with Joe Tomlinson from the Saturday Social.
What's going on? I'm joined today by Joe Tomlinson from Football Daily and Sky Sports' very own Saturday Social. Joe is also the World Influencer of the Year for 2019. Joe, thanks for joining us today,
No
mate.
worries,
How
I'm
you
definitely
doing?
not the World Influencer of the Year. That one I went to Troops, so, you know, robbed.
All right, well, we're going to get into some NBA 2K action today. You ever played 2K before?
I've never played NBA 2K.
Have
I've
you
never
had any basketball experience before?
very little, very little. I'm trying to get more into it this year though, because obviously it's on Sky Sports, so it's easy to watch. But I'm a FIFA guy. I'm a football fan, so I'm hoping it's not too different.
Let's get into this. It's triangle to jump, by the way, for the tip-off.
Triangle to jump.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You got to
triangle
time
to
it
jump.
when he
and
throws the
then-
ball up.
That's a great start, isn't it?
So you said you're trying to get into the NBA more this season.
Yeah.
What experience do you have with basketball in the world of the NBA prior to this?
I'll be honest, because of how like the English school system is, I always felt like rugby and cricket and football are much more sort of like applicable to my life. I don't know. I just never got into basketball from a young age, and then I feel like it's too late to get into it when you're older.
No such thing, man. It's never too late.
So I'm going to the States for the KSI Logan Paul fight.
Okay.
So the Lakers the team to watch out there, or?
Well, this season, the Lakers or the Clippers, like traditionally, the Clippers were kind of the joke of LA. But this year, they've got a really good team. They've got Kawhi Leonard, who won the NBA championship with Toronto. I don't know if you saw that earlier in the summer.
with the Raptors. They beat the Golden State Warriors, didn't
Yep, there you go. So he
Shout
now
out
plays
Nelk.
for the Clippers. Yeah, shout out Nelk boys. But yeah, so I would say go to either or, because they've both got great players on both teams now. It's in the same arena where they're having the boxing match.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's
In the Staples Center?
so-
Yeah, because I was watching, I was reading about the odds and stuff of this season's winners, and it is the Clippers are favourites, they're
Yeah.
the Lakers. So has there ever been a sort of LA versus LA final?
I think this is really the first year that the Clippers have been good, which is crazy.
Right, okay.
Because like growing up, the Clippers were like the kind of the joke of everyone. You know, like Tottenham are kind of like the joke in the Premier League. Like
Yeah.
they're the bottle jobs. The Clippers couldn't even be bottle jobs because they would never get to the finals. So this is kind of their first real shot at winning an NBA title. So it's the first year that the LA rivalry has been.
What is this? How do you put it in the basket, man?
You hold out square. You hold out square. But that's all you got to do.
You just got to hold it down. This is. I'm so bad at this game, man.
All right, so you're going to be locked in Sky Sports this season to watch the NBA that goes on. Are you now going to consider yourself a Golden State fan? Is that the team you're adopting?
I feel like is that a glory hunter move? Because if it is, I'm absolutely on board.
I can't say so much a glory hunter move this year because the 3 games that they've played, they've looked absolutely terrible.
But is it 5 finals in a row?
Yeah.
Am I going to get abused for saying that? Oh.
I think picking an NBA team without like a direct link is a very tough thing to do. You know, like most people have like, oh, I've got like an uncle who lives here, or I like the design. But I don't think you get too much stick anymore because I think Golden State, their era is over now. If you picked LA Lakers or LA Clippers, you would get a lot of stick, most definitely.
Okay.
But I think we could make you a Golden State Warriors fan.
All right, we'll make me a Golden State Warriors fan. If they are the most like Manchester United in the NBA, I'll take them.
So we're almost at the fourth quarter, at the end of the fourth quarter now. I'm up by 4. I'm gonna sink these 2 free throws. So tell the fans at home where they can check out your stuff, a bit about what you do, and where to find you.
You can follow me on social media at Joe Tomlinson, or watch Saturday Social 9:30 till 10:30. Sky Sports Premier League, Sky Sports main events sometimes when we get the chance. Football Daily as well. I'm on most days, so you can go and check that out. Just type Football Daily into YouTube. That's pretty much it. Oh, and VYB as well. I do make the occasional appearance on there, much like Dave Horner. Well worth watching.
Definitely, man. Well, anyway, we appreciate you having me down.
No worries.
We'll be into the Saturday Social to check out your stuff.
Thank you very much.
Mo, you need to stop being a bully, man, and bullying these other influencers on 2K. You were giving a talk, though. You say you rate yourself on 2K.
I'm up there. If there's anyone out there, you know, any influencers or anyone else who thinks they're up for the challenge, come and get involved on our show. We'll see who's got game.
I love that.
Keep that energy. Keep that same energy. Because someone out there is going to see that.
They're going to go for it,
They're coming for you.
I welcome it.
Guys, look, we have a special guest joining us right now, and I had a chance to catch up with him at the finals, but there is no better time to intro the guests that we have all flying all the way from the other side of the pond. Mr. Trey Kirby, formerly of The Starters and of the No Dunks podcast. My guy, how have you been, first of all? And I see you still haven't sent me that beard oil to let me grow. I see you rocking the ponytail, though, so what, you're not going to bring me? Is that how it is now?
Honestly, I'm just trying to match up with you. You know, you can work on a nice long beard. I'm working on the ponytail when we finally get back together. We can really talk hair care tips.
I hear you. Trey, look, this season has been incredible. I know you've been covering the league for a long time, but what has been the biggest surprise so far of this season?
Nobody had the Phoenix Suns at 5 wins through 7 games. It took them 29 wins last season to get to win number 5. And I heard you guys talking trash earlier, saying they're not a playoff team. You're probably right. But as we look right now, they've got wins over the Sixers and Clippers, 2 teams who have finals aspiration, and they're top 10 on both sides of the ball. That is a championship contender. I mean, yeah, we are 2 weeks into the season, but as of now, the Suns are looking good. They're playing hard. They have professional players. They got a great coach in Monty Williams, and they've got a star in Devin Booker who's able to do what he does best, get buckets, and not have to really worry about anything else. It's worked good so far. We'll see what happens when teams kind of catch on that the Suns are a little bit better this year, when they have to actually give an effort to try and beat the Suns. Maybe they fall off then like your Magic did back in the day. But at least for now, I'm happy to be positive about the Suns.
Ovie, you're a Phoenix Suns fan. Does that hurt your feelings a little bit?
Oh, I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, but I've known what it's been for a little while. You know, I definitely feel like they've shown growth this season, which is, as a Phoenix fan, personally, I'm sort of happy with that. Okay. You know, I feel like the early success we've had, it's been a little bit of a surprise, but, you know, it's been a good surprise, obviously. It's showing that, you know, when we're doing things the right way, that good things are happening for us. So, yeah, I still think we're in the rebuilding stages, but we've gotten off to a great start, obviously.
Trey, since I've got you on the phone, brother, do you mind if we get you involved in our next feature, Buzzer Beater? It's just a quick fire round talking about some of the predictions for the early season awards.
That's right, let it rip.
Well, gentlemen, we've always got to involve our guests first, obviously, but I want to bring up these early season awards. Look, the league has been incredible. It's been exciting. We've been killing ourselves to stay up and watch it. But who's caught your eye? And Trey, this goes to you first. Who's caught your eye in terms of the Rookie of the Year?
Well, I mean, Zion Williamson was the pick preseason, and then as soon as everybody found out he was going to be missing 8 weeks, I hopped off the bandwagon as fast as I could, threw my money in with RJ Barrett, and I'm feeling good about it. The guy's playing about 48 minutes a night, putting up 20 a game, and he has the Knicks hype machine behind him. They had me believing in Chris Copeland and Ron Baker, Mitch Robinson, all these guys who had minor successful seasons. If they have a rookie who's actually, you know, the best player on his team, the hype in New York is going to be incredible. So I think Barrett's going to put up some good counting stats, and he's going to get a whole bunch of articles written about him, which are 2 things you need to do if you're winning Rookie of the Year.
I hear that. Mo, talk to me, man. Who you got for Rookie of the Year?
Well, we spoke about the Miami Heat earlier, so I'm going with Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
You know, he hasn't had the most conventional path to the NBA, but he's come in, he's made a huge impact, and I think what separates him from a lot of the other names that are being thrown around is the Miami Heat will be playoff contenders in the East, whereas, you know, the Knicks with RJ or the Grizzlies with Ja Morant, they're not really looking to be competitive. So he's making an impact, and the impact he's making really counts.
I hear you. I mean, that's a valid case. Looking at how he started the season, Kendrick Nunn is a good contention for Rookie of the Year. Ove, talk to me. Who are you going for?
Gotta be Ja Morant, man.
Aye, you know what? I knew you was going to charge you. I knew you was going to charge you from early, you know? I knew it.
No. I've been big on Ja Morant for a little while. I feel like he has the intangibles to become sort of a superstar in the league. I feel like he's got leadership qualities which are huge. And, you know, the difference is I feel like guys, and this is speaking on Kendrick, guys know that Ja Morant's coming. He's the number 2 pick. You know, he's one of the highly touted guys in his class. You know, so...
What he did at Murray State was incredible.
You know, yeah, it was incredible,
lovely.
you know.
Yeah.
But people have been aware of him, you know. So guys, the scouting report is a bit different for him than it is for Kendrick. Now, as things do change and guys are sort of knowing, OK, these guys over at the Heat are playing very well, I feel like the scouting reports will tighten up on them a little bit, and we'll sort of see what his production looks like at that point. But, you know, I loved Ja Morant, how he performed against Kyrie. I feel like that was a really good matchup that showed that
The block was huge.
Yeah. Like he's not going to back down. You know, I feel like there's areas of his game where he needs to show some consistency. His 3-point shooting, he needs to prove that he can make that shot. But in that game, just for an example, you know, he was able to knock down a big 3 late in the game. So it shows that, you know, he's got what it takes to make big shots and be a big-time player at the end of the day. So
I like that. I got
Ja Morant.
I got Ja Morant as well. Well, we're always going to include our guests first. So, Trey, we're moving into the next segment, which is the most improved player. We both had the opportunity to watch Pascal Siakam last year. He was incredible. Who are you tipping for this year's award?
I'm on the Brandon Ingram bandwagon right now. The Pelicans are struggling out of the gate a little bit. You know, they're not getting the wins, 1-6 so far, but Ingram is putting up some massive numbers. He's at 26 a game, adding 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He is making more threes this season than he averaged attempted when he was playing with the Lakers. He just looks more confident. He looks like he's in the right spot playing the 4. I mean, it's tough for the Pelicans that they're figuring out that this is Brandon Ingram's position while Zion is out. But if you're able to forecast it down the future, looks like Brandon Ingram could take home MIP this year, could get a huge contract in the summer. He's going to be a restricted free agent with not a lot of big names on the market. And then maybe in the future, you've got your front court with Zion at the 5, Brandon Ingram at the 4. That is a problem.
Oh, do you agree with that? Or are you going to go somewhere else?
You know what? No. And this is serious. I had Shea Alexander down from OKC, and I feel like he makes a very valid argument. He's sort of coming into his own as, you know, a possible star in the league. Especially playing alongside Chris Paul. I feel like that's a very good vet to have around you to sort of nurture your young talent. But Brandon Ingram, that's
I like that
shout.
bandwagon. I like that.
That is a shout.
I'm a fan of a bandwagon.
That's a big time shout.
I'm a fan of a bandwagon.
Because I've been high on Brandon Ingram, especially when he first came in the league. Like, you know, he's a very highly skilled player. He's sort of this new era of player that, you know, the mold that's 6'10", long, athletic, but can still have, you know, has extremely good handling skills, and obviously can play out on the perimeter.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But I feel like now Brandon Ingram sort of being on a smaller market team, moving away from the Lakers where obviously you've got
a lot of eyes
lot of eyes on you all the time and you're being scrutinised.
Are you changing your pick? That's the important question.
I think I'm changing my pick, man. Yeah, I think I'm changing to Brandon Ingram. I think I got to second that
Hey,
motion.
Trey, that's all you, you know.
That motion.
Trey, that's all you, bro.
Okay.
Talk to
I
me.
love it.
So-
That must have been quite a pitch.
So when they asked me for most improved, I originally had Brandon Ingram written down.
It's okay
but
to
then-
say you're part of the bandwagon team.
But
It's fine.
I'm a big fan of Brandon Ingram. I think he is in with a great shout. However, I thought about it like this. He averaged 18 a game last season, a little bit more than that. And, you know, the big step up here is Zion comes back in 8 weeks. How does he fit? How does he still continue scoring at this level? Because I don't think he'll get the same amount of touches and the same amount of opportunities to maintain this level throughout the season. I actually did the inverse of Ovie, is I've gone with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in OKC because his numbers
So you've
have been-
reversed his decision.
His
and you're
numbers
not
have been
So
crazy.
you're jumping out of the bandwagon is what you're saying.
I still think Brandon's a great shout, but I just think Shai going from around 10 points a game to 21 points a game now. Also, like, the rebounding numbers, he's averaging an extra 5 rebounds per night. And he's doing all of this whilst on a roster that has Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder. There was questions about whether he'd even get the minutes and whatnot, but he's really learning a lot from Chris Paul. He's taking that on board, and once Chris Paul is traded or he moves on and Schroeder's traded and moves on, he becomes that guy. You can see him on the brink of becoming a superstar player.
I like that. Look, I was there with both of you. I like both your picks. Trey, I like your pick as well, my guy. But I've actually gone for Jaylen Brown. I've said to myself, look, signing a new long-term deal in Boston, now you can turn around and say you can be a legit, maybe number 2 behind Kemba in Boston. And you're a Boston fan.
Come on.
Yeah, look, I'm giving my guy Jaylen Brown the shout, the nod this year to push on and get some serious numbers on the board. Look, behind production, what they don't know is that we had a huge amount of debate about the Defensive Player of the Year. So, Trey, I'm going to leave that for later on when everyone starts putting some blocks up and we've got some highlights. But I want to move to the big one. I know we've touched on it already, but can we talk about the MVP award? Trey, as our guest, please lead us away. Who have you got as the MVP prediction for this season?
I don't know if this guy's actually been the MVP through a couple of weeks of the season, but I picked Joel Embiid in the preseason, and he hasn't done anything to convince me otherwise. I mean, he goes out for 2 games, and the Sixers can't even beat the Suns anymore. You guys are telling me the Suns aren't a playoff team, and now they're beating the Sixers without Joel Embiid. He is incredible on defense. He is their best offensive player. He's their best defensive player. He's only at 23-10 right now, which is good for a lot of players, but kind of underneath Joel Embiid's peak, no doubt about it. I do think the Sixers are going to be right up there in the Eastern Conference. They're going to be one of the teams that is closest to 60 wins throughout the NBA. So if he's the best player on a team that could be the best in their conference, I think that's a good case for MVP.
Trey, listen to me. Thank you so much again, homie. And I'm waiting for my postage for that beard oil. I'll pay for the clearance as well. Don't worry about it, man. But I can't wait to have you back on later on in the season. And make sure everyone goes and downloads that podcast as well, No Dunks. Man, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, y'all, for having me. Talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you soon, homie. But you two, I'm not finished with you yet, man. The MVP discussion. I know we touched on it earlier, but you tell me, who have you got in terms of leading predictions for this year?
MVP, I've got Giannis. I just can't see him slowing down. You know, he's come off a huge year, but I feel like Giannis's game still has a lot of growth. There's still a lot of space for growth, which is crazy to say. But like I said, I feel like he takes a different approach to the game. He's not one of these guys who now all of a sudden wants to work out with every other superstar in the league in the summer.
You said that with a lot of shade.
No. It's a fact. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a fact.
I like that.
He's not one of these guys that wants to be everyone's friend, and, you know, to sort of separate yourself, I feel like that is a big deal now in today's game. Back in the day, that was sort of just common knowledge. You don't work out with sort of the rivals, the guys on the other side.
Competitive nature, man.
You know what I mean? So that's who I got.
And Mo, talk to me, man. Who have you leaving for your MVP predictions?
Ovie said Giannis. over half the general managers in the NBA have said Giannis. And Mo is also saying Giannis. I think he's going back to back with it.
Okay.
And
He's on your team.
here's why. He had a monster season last year. He's only 24. He's not in his prime yet. Through his first 6 games in the season, he put up more points, rebounds, and assists than anyone ever has in the first 6 games of the start to a season. Also, he's not finished yet. You know, I watched the first game up against Houston. He shot 5 3-pointers, only knocked down 2. But he's been in the gym all summer. He's working. That 3-point shot, the outside shot will come along. He's got Kyle Korver helping him work on that 3-point shot. He's hungry for it. He just wants to reach the top of his game. And, you know, like Embiid, as Trey said, is a shout, but I think he's going to miss too many games. I think the Bucks are going to have an excellent regular season record, and Giannis is the primary reason for that, and I think he's going to double up.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. As much as I want to agree with both of you, and I think Giannis is unbelievable, as I'm one of his biggest fans, I've actually gone for Anthony Davis. Because I think the MVP is a narrative sometimes as well. And him moving to LA with all of the trials and tribulations of trying to get out of New Orleans, I think LeBron James has accepted a secondary role. And you look at the numbers that he put up the other night. I mean, that 40-20 in 31 minutes is unheard of. Like, those sort of numbers and those sort of eye-catching moments are the sort of things that I think is going to help him in terms of with the NBA race.
You got to say that he is in the Western Conference, though. That's one little advantage that Giannis does have.
Of course.
You know, on a nightly basis, he's coming up against more Eastern Conference teams, meaning that he might arguably put up better numbers. And also, with Anthony Davis, we know he's had injury problems in the past, and the Lakers might want to rest him a bit as the season progresses, get him on that load management that worked for Kawhi last year, so they can make a run deep into the playoffs.
Well, 100% these predictions are logged, so we'll make sure we'll come back to these. But we're almost out of time. But before that, we want to make sure we preview the games that's coming up for this weekend here on Sky Sports. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to do it one at a time here, yeah? So, Boston versus San Antonio on Saturday night. Incredible game. 2 great teams, historic franchises going head-to-head. Who have you got? Quick.
Who have I got? Spurs.
I like that.
Spurs.
I like that. And the exciting Minnesota Timberwolves as well, going down to play against Denver. Another great game, which is going to be available on the Sky Sports YouTube as well, being streamed. So who have you got for there?
I think the Timberwolves are hot right now, but the Nuggets have got a deep roster. I think they'll come away with a win in that one.
Gentlemen, listen to me. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again. Yeah, big homie. And we'll be back next week with the man himself, mic'd up. Mo, you'll be coming back as well.
Yes, sir.
And Benny Bonsu. Make sure you stay tuned. Can't wait to see you there.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.